The only significant difference I was going to say was in the number of factories, whereas Really was going with 2 and Skyhigh with 3. But now both players are building their 4th factories and should be equal on production capacity soon, so I don't think Really is going to have any significant advantage in terms of number of units, though his army composition is going to be different because I still haven't seen any tanks from Skyhigh yet. So it's going to be Mass Vulture versus Tank Vulture for a little while. And Really is inching across his bridges, trying to get out of his base and avoid any spider mine contain for now. I don't know how much of a difference that would make, and it looks like Skyhigh is adding factory number 5. So this is already quite a lot of factories for Skyhigh going off of 2 bases. I mean, you can go with, I suppose, as many as 7 factories going off of 2 bases, but it's just the more factories that you have, the more you're committing to Mass Vulture play. And like I said, this is a map that's good for it. It's kind of like, it reminds me a little bit of an older map called Geometry, but I don't know exactly why that is. Geometry was a map full of ramps and plateaus all across the map, so the Vulture's maneuverability was really helpful. But Destination's kind of interesting in terms of just not having as many large open spaces. In the meantime, however, Skyhigh is positioning a little bit off. A few of his Vultures getting caught in this flank, but basically both players are losing a bunch of Vultures here, but I don't know who's coming out ahead of it in this encounter, if anyone. I think both players have taken similar losses to their Vulture counts and just haven't accomplished anything, so I'd say that encounter was pretty much a draw, but what I think that will allow is for Skyhigh to buy some time to get some more tanks of his own out to counter Really's, so I guess really slight plus to Skyhigh on that battle, but I don't think it's any huge impact in that instance either. And it looks as if Really has some units or spider mines up toward the middle left of the map. Those were some mines, I suppose, and Really looks like he's going to catch Skyhigh in that position again, but Skyhigh is able to just move right past and set up some mines by one of the expansion locations that Really might have been looking to take. And here's a large force from Skyhigh pushing in, taking out a few tanks of Really's and pushing Really back. So in this sort of mid-game jockeying for position, Skyhigh is in a pretty solid spot right now, having taken out a few tanks and pushed Really back. But ultimately, I think both players have too few units on the ground to really capitalize and start containing or squeezing other players into their base. So it's 5 factories to 4 for Skyhigh, but Really has switched to a starport faster. I guess because he's been having less factories to pump units with, he's had more resources available for teching. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of there. I'm expecting Wraiths because it's, I think, still a bit too early in the game for dropships to really be all that effective, and I was thinking perhaps Skyhigh would not have expected it and been caught out without any anti-air, but his armory is just about already up, and so Goliaths will be hitting the field pretty soon, unless that was just for fast upgrades, but the option to pump Goliaths is still there, so Skyhigh should be, I think, adequately equipped to handle this. Now I'm starting to see a lot of yellow creeping up the left side of the map, and Really has just planted a command center there, judging by what's going on the mini-map, so he's about to take a 3rd base, and if Skyhigh doesn't respond to this in some way or another, Really's going to take a big lead. Skyhigh is getting up a starport of his own right now, so he'll be slightly behind on this initial Wraith count, but he'll at least be able to deal with that and mobilize some Wraiths of his own. In the meantime, really moving out with the Rays and is going to start harassing Skyhigh's tank line near those central bridges. And I still haven't seen any Goliaths on the ground, and Skyhigh's just bringing more tanks in. So that's one tank down, and with more Wraiths joining this attack, he should be able to take out a few more tanks before this is neutralized. And in a Terran versus Terran, and especially at this stage of the game, every tank counts. So I think making the switch to starport faster has really benefited Really, and that's a nice little micro trick, switching up which tank he was attacking so that he would get one while the SCVs kept repairing another. So Sea.Really, I think so far his play has been pretty on the ball this game, and Skyhigh, I don't think he's made any sort of really substantial mistakes either, though attacking that barracks instead of chasing those Wraiths off with the Goliaths is perhaps a little dubious, or I don't know, even the result of an A move, though I'd be a little bit surprised by that. But third base is now up for Really, and it does not look to me like Skyhigh has responded in kind. In fact, he hasn't. So it's now 3 bases to 2, and this this economic advantage should translate into a military one for Really pretty soon, unless Skyhigh is able to do something about this and quickly. But it looks like Really has got more units, and Skyhigh looking a little antsy there. Really seems to have cleared just about all of Skyhigh's units out of the center of the map, or maybe it's just a little bit difficult to keep track of green dots on the minimap. It seems to blend in a little bit. But no, it looks to me like Really is on the move across those central bridges. Skyhigh now seems to be trying to get his third set up, but that's been delayed. Or could that even have been... I missed where that was on the minimap, but that might have even been an attempt by Really to set up a fourth, which would have been pretty crazy. So, sorry I wasn't clear on that. Anytime Really is indeed setting up a fourth in the bottom left corner, and so he is really looking to cement the economic advantage. And I'm also kind of sorry that anytime I try to emphasize things with Really, it just sounds like a terribly lame pun. I mean, I love a lame pun more than most, but yeah, it's pretty terrible. Sorry, guys.